Hi everyone and welcome to ET Now. I'm Karunya Rao. With me is Mubina Kapasi and we bring to you the very special edition of Family Budget 2019. Now, of course, over the last couple of days and weeks, we've been bringing to you a whole host of expert opinions, expert choices, experts' voices about what they expect from the budget this time around. But seldom do we speak to the Aam Aadmi, the Aam Janta, to get their expectations and what is their wish list with respect to budget. So for that, we met with the two very different sets of families. Mubina, tell us about the one you met.
Well, their surname was Sevwalas and the family was Sevwala, so I decided to step into Casa Sevwala to get in a sense of what exactly was their understanding and their opinion of the last 5 years of the Modi government, the last 5 budgets as well that was produced by his team, and of course what was on their wish list. A small businessman as well in the small scale industry, in the food industry, which was of course impacted by GST as well. This was one interesting family and they had their budget wish list ready. Listen in. With me, the Sevwala family based in South Mumbai. It's comprised of, well, 6 adults and 2 children, but I've just managed to get 4 of them with me right now on Family Budget. So I'll start off by introducing Mr. Nuruddin Sevwala, the patriarch of the family and the CEO of Crown Foods. His son Aziz Sevwala, who as well has joined the family business, his wife Mubina Aziz Sevwala, and the matriarch of the family, Insia Sevwala. So thanks to all of you for joining in on ET Now's Family Budget. Mr. Sevwala, I'll start off the interaction first with you. The last 5 years, of course, has been a very exciting one with Mr. Prime Minister Modi and of course his very unique rhetoric that he has brought about. What is it that you liked the most about what the government has done in the last 5 years, or even disliked for that matter?
First and foremost, I would like to congratulate our Prime Minister, a very young, dynamic and a good speaker, Mr. Prime Minister Modi. He has brought India to the level which was never before since last so many years. I remember I used to travel all over the world and I used to wait to see my name of India in any of the newspapers or in the news, electronic media. But nowadays, whenever we go there, everybody talks of Prime Minister Modi, and that makes me proud that yes, I am Indian, and hats off to our Prime Minister Modi.
So Mrs. Sevwala, tell me this, that if we have to get into the nitty-gritties, everyone knows that the housewife usually has the money. So how is it that your own expenditure from a household perspective has changed 5 years ago compared to what maybe your monthly household budget was compared to what it is now?
Definitely, it has. I can say it has really gone up to double. Like what we would have paid for gas cylinders 5 years back, we are paying double. Even for fruits and vegetables, everything, the cost has gone up. There's no doubt about it. So there is a, the budget has really gone out of control, you could say.
That, of course, was from, a household perspective. What about, the fact that since GST, we've naturally seen this interest, this taxation rate on a lot of other of our expenditures. I'm saying social expenditures go up, like restaurants or, watching a movie. Have you seen much of an impact of that? I mean, do you believe that going out now versus maybe a couple of years ago, and I'm not talking about 10, 15 years ago when inflation really would impact. I'm talking about just 3, 4 years ago. Do you think that there's really been a rise in your entertainment expenditure as well?
Definitely. I think going out twice or thrice a week is reduced to probably once a week now, thanks to the increase in the GST rates with the restaurants or the entertainment, even going to the salon or even the basic necessity like using sanitary napkins and stuff. So we've definitely felt the pinch with the increase in GST rates and these basic things that give us happiness, that leads us out. So yeah, that's about it.
And you guys have, of course, a daughter who's just about to go to school. How is it then that you're going to tackle that expense? Because there's no two qualms in saying that education expense or school fees as well is one big factor that's gone up. And it's surprising. We're in a country where, of course, the illiteracy rate is so high. But if you want a good private school education, you're going to have to shell out a lot more.
Definitely, I think in any household currently the biggest outflow is probably the education fees, the school fees and the child's education, be it the tuition fees or the other classes, and the tertiary expenses as well as the school fees. So it is expensive.
But do you believe that this trend of higher expenses, be it your day-to-day expenses, or for that matter school fees or the tertiary activities, do you believe that this trend of higher expenses is only in the metro cities? I mean, do you believe that we are the ones who actually have to shell out the most, the ones living in Mumbai or Delhi?
True. Yeah, in fact, we have noticed that metro cities are most affected by the education fees. Expenses have gone up. In fact, in certain most metro cities, there's a new trend of international baccalaureate schools that have come in, where the fees are usually 5 to 10 times the fees of any other school that you would otherwise pay, like an ICSE board maybe. And because of that, we've also seen that many of the ICSE schools are also now migrating to the international baccalaureate school, because then they know they have a benefit of the fee structure. And otherwise, in general, even other schools are increasing their fees. So I feel metro cities, the cost of education is much more as compared to what you would pay in probably a rural city. That's absolutely true.
Let's talk about infrastructure, with Prime Minister Modi and, of course, our road minister for the last 5 years, Mr. Nitin Gadkari. They've tried their best to do stuff around, make infrastructure better. But are you happy with the progress so far?
See, we are very happy with the expressways and all the, flyovers and etc., the metro that is coming around the coastal roads. But at the same time, there's a lot of pollution, potholes and day-to-day traffic. That is a big minus, because to reach from point A to point B, we never know how much time it's going to take per day. So that is a big negative.
Let's get to business. You guys, of course, do run a small-scale industry, Crown Foods, which is, of course, in a small-scale industry. So it's often said that these are the industries or the companies that have been the victims, in many ways, because you had to go through demonetization, subsequently GST. So without, me putting words in your mouth, let me ask you, for your business environment, what is the biggest operating changes that you had to make in the last 4 to 5 years? I just want to talk about changes, then we'll talk about what the government has done.
We are suffering a lot because we are small-scale manufacturers. The government has taken this decision of GST 18 to 28%, considering 1 or 2 giants who are in the similar line of what we are. So when they were paying 24% or 33%, the government brought the price down to 28 and 18%. But these 2 giants and 20 to 30,000 small-scale manufacturers who were only paying 6% VAT are now paying 18% taxes. So all the small-scale industries are now paying 3 times more the taxes. We are suppliers to all the small traders, retailers, kiranas, and we were doing good business. But since this online business have started, which is managed by multi crore people who are handling this, and they are vast giants from all over the world. These people have taken away all our businesses. Not only ours, but all the retailers' business has been taken over by them. So we find that the retailers are finding very difficult to survive.
So this is, of course, from a pure business point of view, from a taxation point of view. But I think one key thing that Prime Minister Modi as well tried to do is ease of doing business. Do you think he's done anything over there?
Of course, they have done ease of doing business. Our octroi, excise, other taxes have been removed, and there's only one GST. But because of not planning well in advance how to move about, and in the last 9 months, first GST 9 months, they have changed it so many times that instead of easing out, my son Aziz says it's more of a problem every day, studying the changes and then again doing it properly. Okay. So this has been a problem. I think Aziz will be able to explain to you.
Yeah, in fact, I was going to ask you, a GST, something as a GST return filing. I understand from a lot of other businessmen I speak that ये जो invoice matching है वो नहीं हो पाता है हमसे, from my limited knowledge. Do you think the GST has been a bit of a challenge?
So initially not a bit of a challenge, quite a challenge. Okay. So the first 6 to 8 months was because the implementation could have been way better in terms of basic technical facilities like the number of taxpayers that are accessing the website. They couldn't access the GST website, like because of the inflow on the website. The website itself was slow. That's like just a very, very small problem. So besides that, the compliance that came with GST. Okay, so for example, like where we used to have, the compliance would come in like once in 3 months before GST. After GST, now it's twice or thrice a month. Almost on a fortnightly basis, there's a return that you have to file, right? Even for like a small-scale industry like ours, which was not there before the GST era.
So yes, it certainly was not. It was a very rocky journey, I must say, for GST implementation, especially for smaller scale industries. So Mr. Sevala, we have a new finance minister, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman. If you had a chance to go and meet her before the budget, if you would have a pre-budget consultation meeting with you, what would you like to tell her?
First and foremost, we would like that the taxes of all items, it should not be 18% at all. In India, the business profit of any small scale to any large scale, it is not more than between 5 to 10%. And people are giving away 18% of their business to the government. So the taxes should be anywhere between 0 to 10 and not above that. The tax structures for specially service class people should be more exemption. If for a businessman it starts from 5 lakh, for service class people they should be taxed only after 7.5 lakhs.
Okay, all right. What about you guys? From a household perspective, from a homemaker perspective, would you have any wants from the finance minister this time around?
Like I said, for us, the major outflow would be our child's education. So I would really hope that this budget can have a better cut for the education. And I think apart from education, we also see a constant increase in inflation with medicines. So the healthcare, I don't think, has ever benefited from the budget much. So considering a child and 2 senior citizens in the house, we look at the healthcare aspect as well.
Just like every other Aam Aadmi, this family of Aam Aadmis as well wants expenses to be deducted. It's hit almost every other pocket. And yes, let's just hope that Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman hears all of your wish lists and your calls. Thanks so much for joining in on Family Budget.
Thank you very much.